He was an outstanding physician. He was a role model. He was somebody that I idolized. As Carly said, his wife, Maxine Johnson Haley, grew up here in Longmont, went to high school with my mom in the class of 1929, Longmont High 1929. Also in that class was Coach Gil Everly, the field named after Gil Everly and Wendy Montgomery, and Harold Pratt, the father of Kenny Pratt and Karen Pratt, one of our members, Karen Pratt. So he was born in Paonia, Colorado, and grew up there. That's a little town south of the Grand Mesa, north of the Black Canyon, the Gunnison, known for its peaches, peach orchards, and coal mining. He was an athlete from the get-go. He distinguished himself in high school, and then he came to the University of Colorado for a 4-year degree, during which time he earned 12 varsity letters in 4 individual separate sports: football, baseball, basketball, and track. That's an outstanding achievement. The only other people to have done something on that order, i.e. 4 different sports at CU, are Byron Whizzer White, who became a Supreme Court Justice, K.O. Lamb, who later became the AD, the athletic director at CU for a long, long time, and Dave Logan, who you can hear announce the Broncos games each fall. He's also on KOA. Well, after 4 years at college, he taught and coached athletics at a high school for 1 year, but then he went back to CU for 4 more years in med school and became a physician. He then came to Longmont and practiced for a short time. World War II occurred, and there was a great need for everybody to pitch in for World War II, and he did his part. He joined the 29th General Hospital, which was comprised primarily of Colorado physicians. And they had a hospital in New Caledonia, 1,000 beds. That was the hospital that received the brunt of all that carnage and trauma of World War II in the Pacific. The hospital was built and set up in 6 months. It was there where he actually earned the nickname Slick, because he was such a good, effective surgeon. A lot of it learned on the job. Prior to that, he was known as the Paonia Peach, because he was such a good athlete. Well, as the war progressed, that hospital moved from New Caledonia to eventually Korea. Among the people that served in that unit were very notable Denver doctors: Jack Foster, Bill Cavode, Foster Matchett, who was one of Jack Fletcher's mentors in orthopedics, Charlie Freed, and Frank McGlone, all very outstanding Denver physicians and surgeons. So after the war, he came to Longmont, resumed his activities in Rotary, was a member throughout his life here in Longmont. For a long time, he was the only general surgeon in Longmont, until the very late 1950s when Dr. Fowler came, Bill Fowler, and also served as a general surgeon. I saw him in action as a surgeon when I was a little boy, because my mom cut her hand in the kitchen, a flexor tendon cut, couldn't move her thumb. She went to the hospital, came back home the next day, all repaired and totally corrected, as well as any modern hand surgeon would have done. He delivered Karen Hicks as a little baby, brand new baby. He delivered Karen Hicks, our Rotarian. He served as a consummate physician. He was a surgeon, but he was also a doctor. And the thing that I remember the most is how he took care of my best friend up on Sunset Street, Stan Harrison, who was dying of leukemia. Stan survived about a year with a couple of remissions. Chemotherapy was in its infancy. Nothing really was fully understood about the disease at that time, except that towards the end, profound anemia would occur in many cases, an dysplastic anemia, and the only way to really perpetuate life was with blood transfusions. Slick would come and make house calls in his station wagon with an IV stand. I remember him going in the house with a bag of blood, an IV stand, and give Stan a transfusion at home so he didn't have to go to the hospital. Then he would take that IV stand back to his car, take it home. That was a lot of different effort to do that, but the reason he did that was because that stark IV stand in the house was a constant reminder of the affliction that Stan suffered. So he was compassionate. He followed the 4-way test. He was an outstanding physician. He gave this award personally every year. And towards the end of his life, I remember how proud he would be to give this award to up-and-coming high school students who were our future. So it's a high honor to receive an award in the name of Dr. Slick.